Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Luna raises the stakes with Liam's promise to Steffy, Hope's double surprise. According to the Bold and the Beautiful teasers for the upcoming 2 weeks, from April 21st to May 2nd, Luna Nozawa will intensify her scheme to find a new boyfriend, and Liam Spencer will promise Steffy Forrester that Logan will also suspect danger. During the week of April 21st to 25th, Liam will have an unexpected setback. Liam believed he was recovering when he checked himself out of the hospital against medical advice. Liam recently promised Kelly Spencer that he would always be there for her and that he wasn't going anywhere. Now that he's texted that stunner, Steffy will want Dr. John Finnegan to tell her more about Liam's brain tumor, which is unfortunately incurable. Finn will sit with Steffy on the sofa at the Cliff House and tell her more about Liam's scans, since this is the type of thing that needs to be discussed in person. Steffy will surprise Liam by disclosing his brain mass in private, since she will believe that Liam should be informed of this terminal information. Though Steffy will assert that Finn, Dr. Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech, and Dr. Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones, have all confirmed he's facing a grave conclusion, Liam will feel that there must be some error. Nevertheless, Liam will boldly reject his prediction. When Liam wishes to live to see Kelly and Beth Spencer, Jordan Grace, grow up, that won't work. It appears that Liam will assure Steffy that he would do every effort to defeat this. Liam would contend that dying and abandoning his daughters without their father is simply not an option, regardless of what the doctors advise. Of course, the CBS soap opera won't be entirely depressing. To counterbalance the depressing scenario Liam is facing, a fashion display by Forrester Creations will go place. Spencer Pratt, Heidi Montag, Markel Washington, and Christine Blair are among the VIPs attending this event. It'll be interesting to watch Christine shake things up with the Forresters, since she will make this a crossover with The Young and the Restless. The enchanted evening that awaits Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, and Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, won't be as magical as Eric Forrester, John McCook, predicts. That's because it looks like Taylor will lock them up together after a minor incident backstage. Once they are confined while the fashion show is going on, Brooke will truly give Taylor what she wants. Liam will have to decide whether to disclose his inoperable brain tumor during the week of April 28th to May 2nd. Liam might insist on keeping things secret, at least for the time being, because he doesn't want to burden his loved ones or give up on his struggle to survive. Hope might, however, think something is amiss and observe that Liam and Steffy appear to be becoming closer these days. Will Hope finally go up to Liam and force him to tell the truth? Luna will put in more effort to win Will Spencer over as her partner. As a result, there will be more opportunities for them to be captured together and more planning meetings with Sheila Sharp. Hope may have suspicions about Sheila and Luna as well. Hope might discover Sheila lied to Deacon Sharp if she witnesses a forbidden bonding moment between Luna and Sheila. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope may receive updates on some disturbing developments, so keep an eye on the CBS serial opera. Hope's startling revelation of Luna's relationship to Deacon and Sheila's betrayal. Updates and teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful hint that Hope Logan may discover Sheila Sharp's, Kimberlyn Brown, betrayal. Could Hope be the one to uncover Grandma Sheila's covert relationship with Deacon Sharp and Luna Nozawa? Sheila wants a relationship with Luna, and the Deacon acknowledged that he understands. Deacon acknowledged Sheila's wish to establish a relationship with Luna in the April 17th episode. It's not that he doesn't understand her need for familial ties. But given Luna's behavior toward his friends at Il Giardino, he thinks Sheila knows that such a link isn't possible. In fact, she changed her mind completely following the granddaughter's revelation. Deacon is certain that the situation is under control because he has firmly established boundaries with an ultimatum. He assured Hope that Sheila chose her husband over her granddaughter when presented with tough decisions. Hope, however, is still skeptical of Sheila's dedication to keeping her distance from Luna, which may make her an important character in this story. It could be Hope who finds out that Sheila isn't following the rules with regard to Luna. By emphasizing Hope's concerns about Sheila's possible relationship with Luna, it appears that she may be the one to discover the truth. Behind Deacon's back, Sheila is quietly developing a relationship with Luna, but this cannot continue indefinitely. Deacon will eventually learn that Sheila continues to hang out with the woman who brought down Paul Hollis W. Chambers, and Tom Starr, Clint Howard. More importantly, Sheila misled Deacon by saying that she put their marriage first. Given that Sheila has been keeping up her relationship with Luna the entire time, Deacon is probably going to understand that she never meant to break things off. Hope knows that even her father may be in danger from Luna, therefore she will undoubtedly tell him about Sheila's lies about her. A touching moment between Sheila and Luna that exposes the reality of their love may be glimpsed by Hope. Hope will undoubtedly have the chance to witness personally how close Sheila and Luna have grown, whether it's through a warm embrace or a shared giggle over drinks at the restaurant. Before returning to Deacon with her discoveries, she could see their relationship. Despite his belief that Sheila is true to him, Deacon will soon have to confront a painful reality. Liam, Kelly's father, traumatized her. Updates and teasers for the bold and the beautiful hint that Hope Logan may discover Sheila Sharp's betrayal. Could Hope be the one to disclose Grandma Sheila's covert relationship with Deacon Sharp and Luna Nozawa? Sheila wants a relationship with Luna, and Deacon acknowledged that he understands. Deacon acknowledged Sheila's wish to establish a relationship with Luna in the April 17th episode. It's not that he doesn't understand her need for familial ties. But given Luna's behavior toward his friends at Il Giardino, he thinks Sheila knows that such a link isn't possible. In fact, she changed her mind completely following the granddaughter's revelation. Deacon is certain that the situation is under control because he has firmly established boundaries with an ultimatum. He assured Hope that Sheila chose her husband over her granddaughter when presented with tough decisions. Hope, however, is still skeptical of Sheila's dedication to keeping her distance from Luna, which may make her an important character in this story. It could be Hope who finds out that Sheila isn't following the rules with regard to Luna. By emphasizing Hope's concerns about Sheila's possible relationship with Luna, it appears that she may be the one to discover the truth. Behind Deacon's back, Sheila is quietly developing a relationship with Luna, but this cannot continue indefinitely. Deacon will eventually learn that Sheila continues to hang out with the woman who brought down Paul Hollis W. Chambers, and Tom Starr. More importantly, Sheila misled Deacon by saying that she put their marriage first. Given that Sheila has been keeping up her relationship with Luna the entire time, Deacon is probably going to understand that she never meant to break things off. Hope knows that even her father may be in danger from Luna, therefore she will undoubtedly tell him about Sheila's lies about her. A touching moment between Sheila and Luna that exposes the reality of their love may be glimpsed by Hope. Hope will undoubtedly have the chance to witness personally how close Sheila and Luna have grown, whether it's through a warm embrace or a shared giggle over drinks at the restaurant. Before returning to Deacon with her discoveries, she could see their relationship. Despite his belief that Sheila is true to him, Deacon will soon have to confront a painful reality. Liam Spencer's frantic demand to go to the father-slash-daughter dance with Kelly, an event that seemed straightforward at first but turned into a battlefield for loyalty, identity, and the harsh realities of blended families, is one of the most powerful examples of how the bold and the beautiful depicts the unvarnished, messy intersection of love and family dysfunction. This was more than just a dance, it was a final stand for a stepfather caught between respect and resentment, a mother divided between protecting her kid and respecting co-parenting boundaries, and a father afraid of being removed from his daughter's life. What transpired was a masterwork of emotional storytelling that revealed the unresolved issues at the core of the most complex relationships. A seemingly innocuous piece of paper, Kelly's school flyer advertising the yearly father-slash-daughter dance, started the argument. This would be a happy milestone for the majority of families. However, it was a ticking time bomb for Liam, Finn, and Steffy. Kelly's exuberant statement, "I want to go with Daddy Liam," sent shockwaves through the cliffhouse of Forrester. With striking sensitivity, Jacqueline McInnes would portray Steffy's reaction, showing a brief moment of dread before she faked a smile. This was about more than simply a dance, it was about Kelly's unintentional rejection of the solid family that Steffy and Finn had worked so hard to create. Liam's desperation, the realization of a father's worst fear. As Liam struggled with the existential fear of paternal obsolescence, Scott Clifton gave some of his most unvarnished performances. His desperate demand, "Steffy, I'm her father. Just because you moved on doesn't mean that goes away," wasn't about subduing Finn or dominating Steffy. It was the cries of a man who had watched his life fall apart for years, losing Steffy, losing hope, and now dealing with the biggest loss of all, his child seeing someone else's dad. The brilliant thing about this plot was how it took Liam's worst weaknesses, his emotional neediness and indecision, and turned them into something terribly relatable. His vacillation was between the parent he had been and the father he feared he had become, not between two women for once. Steffy's unavoidable decision, defense versus penalties. Steffy's resistance was motivated by self-preservation rather than solely Finn's sentiments. The instability, the betrayals, and the swings of the hope pendulum were all reminders of the devastation Liam had brought into Kelly's life. Steffy's silent destruction is depicted by Wood as follows: "You don't get to disappear and return whenever it's convenient." Unveiled the more profound reality, this was about her worry that Kelly would continue her heartbreak cycle. Denying the dance, however, would have punished Kelly for her adult transgressions and put Steffy in the same situation she had vowed to avoid, turning into the type of mother who uses access as a weapon, like Taylor and Brooke had done. Finn's quiet struggle, the stepfather's giving up. The story's emotional core was Tanner Novlan's subtle portrayal of Finn. A storm of unease was concealed by his subdued assent, she should have her dad there. Through everyday gestures of affection, such as bedtime tales, school runs, and scraped-knee remedies, Finn had earned his position as Kelly's father figure. However, biology had the potential to quickly remove that. The lingering question was whether Kelly would pick Liam tomorrow if she did so today. At graduation? At her nuptials? Finn's readiness to back off wasn't a sign of weakness, rather, it was the harsh reality of loving a child who isn't entirely yours. The dance, a moment of catharsis, bittersweet. The scene's impact stemmed from its banality when Liam eventually bent down to tie Kelly's shoe prior to the dance. It was the everyday magic of parenthood, jelly-stained clothes, off-key singing, awkward twirls, rather than a great romantic gesture. As Kelly gave him a hug, Clifton's quivering smile said in a whisper, "This might be the final time." The scene was transformed into a triptych of love and sorrow by the concurrent editing of Steffy and Finn watching from home, she wiping away tears, him holding her hand. The fallout, effects across genres. Co-parenting nightmare, the dance established a precedent that allowed Finn to be included but Liam to remain unnoticed. Storylines in the future would have to negotiate this minefield. The turning point for Finn was when he ceased being Steffy's husband and evolved into a multifaceted parent figure in his own right. Liam's wake-up call, his understanding that being present cannot be intermittent, changed the way he would approach fatherhood in the future. The reasons this storyline touched you. Fundamentally, this arc was successful because it used the show's past as a weapon. Liam was battling not only for a dance but also his own history of desertion, due to Bill Spencer, and compulsive repetition. Steffy was breaking generational curses in addition to being obstinate. Additionally, Finn's quiet power changed the definition of heroism in soap operas. The father-daughter dance evolved into the most profound metaphor: love can mean different things at different times, such as hanging on, letting go, or the heartbreaking act of doing both at once. The Bold and the Beautiful presented one of its most psychologically devastating plotlines in years when Kelly Spencer's innocent world was destroyed by her own father. This storyline made viewers face the fallout from Liam Spencer's constant indecision and emotional carelessness. With consequences that would reverberate through generations of Forresters, Spencers, and Logans, this was a seismic breach in a child's trust, not simply another short-lived scandal or betrayal in a soap opera. The show exposed the harsh truth that even heroes may turn into monsters in their children's eyes, by tearing apart the glossy exterior of Liam's good guy reputation as Kelly's trauma developed. The tipping point, Liam's failure to provide for his daughter. Liam's lifelong pattern of prioritizing his love relationships over his parental duties served as the trigger for Kelly's trauma rather than a single dramatic incident. Was it? In order to resolve another Hope/Steffy issue, she skipped her birthday, refusing to show up at school functions when a Logan or Forrester asked him to. Putting Beth first at crucial times, making Kelly feel like the lesser daughter. The last straw was when Liam neglected to fetch Kelly up from school during a storm while arguing with Steffy and Hope once more. After hours of waiting while lightning cracked and rain poured, a teacher finally brought the frightened 7-year-old home, only to discover that Liam hadn't even noticed he'd forgotten her. The ensuing altercation was depicted with terrible realism by Jacqueline MacInnes Wood and Scott Clifton, with Liam's halting excuses revealing his emotional bankruptcy and Steffy's volcanic wrath barely concealing her anguish. The repercussions: Kelly's mental injuries. What transpired was a startlingly realistic depiction of childhood trauma rather than your average soap opera melodrama. Night terrors: Kelly woke up yelling, certain that her father had permanently deserted her. School regression: the formerly gregarious child began to withdraw from class and cling to teachers. Art therapy hints: unsettling illustrations surfaced, showing a stick figure of Liam leaving as a small girl sobbed. The show made a brilliant choice by using a kid actor's wordless responses rather than exposition to portray Kelly's pain. Little things like averting her eyes when Liam visited, recoiling when he tried to embrace her, or the way she would automatically take Finn's hand when Liam walked into a room, these subtleties spoke more than any dramatic monologue could. Mama Bear mode is activated in Steffy's war. The emotional core of the plot was Steffy's metamorphosis into a natural protector. Her fight in court to limit Liam's visitation was a matter of survival rather than retaliation. Every parent who has ever had to play bad cop to protect their child might relate to Wood's delivery of the line, "You don't get to break her over and over again." The sequence where Steffy brushed Kelly's hair and told her that sometimes daddies need timeouts too was worthy of an Emmy for the day since it combined grief and strength in equal measure. Finn's crucial function: the reliable father figure. Finn, played by Tanner Novlin, turned out to be this arc's surprising hero. He demonstrated what true parenting looks like by being calm and consistent, reading Kelly the same bedtime story every night Liam missed, and gradually restoring her faith in men. Finn appeared while Liam made ostentatious movements, a purposeful contrast. It was like a kick to the gut when Kelly finally referred to Finn as daddy for the first time in front of Liam. Liam's demise: the nice guy mask comes off. This plot was innovative since it undermined Liam's position as the main character. He sobbed, "But I adore her." Sounded hollow in contrast to what he had done. The program let viewers sit through awkward questions. Does love have meaning if it isn't followed through on? Is it possible to be a kind person yet a bad parent? At what point does complicated turn into unforgivable? Because it wasn't redemptive, Clifton's portrayal in Liam's breakdown scene, in which he destroys his own home space after realizing Kelly fears him, was a career high point. This was the harsh reality of consequences, not the lowest point of a hero's journey before a triumph. The startling complicity of Brooke, exposing generational trauma. Accusing Brooke of being responsible for Liam's shortcomings was the plot's most devious move. "He's doing his best," she said defensively. Reflected all of the justifications she had ever offered for her own poor parenting. Decades of Logan/Forrester dysfunction were linked when Taylor yelled in her face, "You raised him to believe his feelings matter more than his children's." The path ahead: will Kelly ever get better? As time goes on, the seeds are sown for future trust concerns. What impact will this have on Kelly's adolescent relationships? Will Beth become a source of animosity in the sibling rivalry? Is Liam redeemed? It would take years of evidence, not just speeches, to bring about real change. The reasons this storyline was important. In a time when soap operas frequently put shock value ahead of substance, Kelly's trauma arc took a new approach by treating a child's suffering as more than just a story point. Refusing to neatly wrap things up or swiftly exonerate Liam gives voice to all divorced children who have ever felt like an afterthought. The quiet moments, such as Kelly's expressionless expression when Liam said, "I'll do better," because she had heard it before, were the true terror, not the drama. This was more than just a narrative, it was a critique of the "but he means well" defense that has allowed poor parenting for many years. By doing this, The Bold and the Beautiful developed its most emotionally honest and morally nuanced plot in 10 years. One of the show's most surprising and intense plots in years began when Dr. Bridget Forrester hurried to Liam Spencer's aid during his unexpected medical crisis. What started off as a typical doctor-patient encounter swiftly devolved into a complicated web of stress, vulnerability, and repressed desire that threatened to destroy alliances and upend relationships in unexpected ways. The boundaries between healer and patient began to blur as Bridget's professional obligations and personal history collided, resulting in a perfect storm of drama that left fans wondering, might this medical crisis lead to the most contentious romance in recent history? The premise, an unexpected crisis. From paternity scandals to near-fatal accidents, Liam Spencer has always been a magnet for drama, but his most recent health issue coincided with his most vulnerable time. Whether it was an automobile accident, a collapse at Forrester Creations, or a stress-related incident, the situation pushed Liam into the one situation he couldn't argue his way out of, a hospital bed in Bridget's care. The bright and kind Dr. Bridget Forrester, who had left the family business to pursue her medical career, was confronted by a man connected to some of her family's most painful memories. For more than 10 years, Liam's romantic relationships with Hope and Steffy had influenced the Forrester-Logan rivalry, and Bridget had personally seen the consequences. Her oath as a doctor, however, required her to put aside her personal experience. This requirement would soon be put to the test in unexpected ways. The therapy, a risky closeness. The atmosphere changed as soon as Bridget started evaluating Liam. Conversations that veered into dangerously intimate area, tentative touches, and prolonged eye contact replaced the customary clinical detachment. Weakened and emotionally vulnerable, Liam broke through his typical barriers and revealed his anxieties about becoming a father, his broken relationships, and the consequences of his mistakes. Normally the epitome of professionalism, Bridget was lured into his vulnerability and provided comfort beyond what was required for medical reasons. Ashley Jones and Scott Clifton's connection was so strong in these sequences that they turned what should have been clinical hospital interactions into tense, silent moments. A straightforward change to Liam's fore escalated into a heated exchange, and a conversation about his recuperation schedule into a confessional. The distinction between confidant and caretaker became unrecognizable. The spark, the breakdown of professionalism. One silent, late-night hospital scenario was the pivotal moment. "You're the only one who really sees me," Liam, who was hoarse from medication and tiredness, said in a whisper that broke Bridget's professional facade when no family or friends were around. It was a seismic implication. At that very moment, Liam was a man seeking connection, not merely a patient. In addition to being a doctor, Bridget was a woman battling an overwhelming wave of forbidden feeling. Bridget's face was captured on tape as she considered the significance of his remarks. The years of history between their families, the silent admiration they had both repressed, and the perilous understanding that, in a different situation, this might be something more were all at stake now, not just Liam's health. One ticking time bomb is the fallout. The ramifications of their relationship emerged when Liam recovered. Hope's suspicion. When Hope noticed Bridget's odd engagement in Liam's case, her queries took on a level of suspicion that no one had expected. Brooke's alarm. The matriarch who almost wed Bridget's father immediately saw the perilous similarities. Steffy's intervention. Steffy, who has always been defensive of her co-parenting arrangement with Liam, confronted Bridget, bringing the subtext to the surface. When Deacon Sharp, ever the opportunist, interrupted a private chat between Bridget and Liam, he caught a brief embrace that might be construed in a dozen different ways. This was the most explosive moment. It was clear from his sneer that this was going to blow out big time. The reasons this storyline is effective. History colliding. Bridget symbolizes the Forrester family that Liam has been involved with all of his life, which makes their relationship seem both inevitable and scandalous. Moral complexity. With contrast to ordinary soap operas, this fascination is enmeshed with moral conundrums regarding the boundaries between patients and doctors. New dynamics. Bridget presents a completely new emotional variable following years of Hope, Steffy, and Liam exhaustion. The questions that remain unanswered. Is there more to this than a trauma bond? If rumors circulate, will Bridget's medical career survive? When his son develops feelings for another Forrester woman, how will Bill Spencer respond? One thing is for sure, the outlook for this partnership is far from stable, And in the high-stakes field of medicine, a hospital gown can come off more quickly than a wedding ring. Do you want to do further exploring? Psychological evaluation of soap opera caregiver-patient relationships. Forecast: will this result in Bridget's long-term comeback to the canvas?